Hi everybody, this is Sheila. Welcome back to the Crochet Nurse channel. Today I'd like to show you how to crochet the square pet bed. The dimensions on the pet bed internally are 12 by 12, externally including the raised sides, it's like 3-inch raised sides. Cushion for the cat so they can lay their head is 14 inches. If you like this kind of content, hit the subscription button below and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be informed when I have upcoming videos. The yarn that we're going to use to create this project is Bernat Blanket Brights, and this is let's go around here, this is a 6-weight yarn, and it's 100% polyester, and I'm using the smaller skein, the 5.3. You will need 2 of these or 1 big skein. Just FYI, for this project we are going to be holding 2 strands together to create this pet bed. And the right reason for that is because we want it to be cushy down here at the bottom, and holding 2 strands of the size 6 weight yarn will do that for us. So if you have the Bernat, you can do it with just 1 skein, 1 big skein. Like I say, you just need to run from the center and the outside. The hook size that we are going to use is going to be a size P, which is a 12, and you notice that this is not a clover, and I'm actually going to use the Hobby Lobby hook. I have my clovers, but for this process the Hobby Lobby hook actually works better because it has much more pointed in to actually help you get into the yarn a little bit easier. The other item that you will need is just a small amount, let me move that over there, a very, very small amount of some Polyfill. This was a full bag, and I used, you could see, maybe a couple inches off of the top to create this edging around here. Okay, so if you wanted to create this project with me, grab your hook, grab your yarn, and we'll get started. We want to start by grabbing our 2 strands of yarn, putting them together, and then moving that a little bit, creating a slip knot. Make sure we got both of those strands up there. Insert the hook, tighten that down a little bit, and now we want to chain 20. And it's going to feel weird with both of those in there. 4, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And this is actually going to give you your 12 inches when it's all said and done. So if you wanted it wider than 12 inches, you can do that. All right. Once you have your 20 chains, what we're going to do is we're going to do a half double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. This one on the hook does not count. Here's your first, your second, and this is your 3rd chain from the hook. But we're not going to do it in the front. We're actually going to flip it over and do it from the back. So, and it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but there's first bump. Let's go to the front. 1, 2, 3, flip it, and there's the bump. You can see it there. So we're going to yarn over, and there is that bump, and we're going to go right for that bump. Bring it in, yarn over, and pull it through, all of them. And now that you've done the first one, the other bumps are going to be readily apparent for you. So then we're going to continue that all the way down the chain. Yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3. And go for the next one, yarn over, pull through, push it through there, back bump, pull through. There's the back bump on the next one. Make sure you capture both strands, pull through. Now you have 6 chains on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And again, continue this all the way down to the chain. At the end of the chain, you will have 18 half double crochets. And you can see how this pointed tip is really helping you get into that stitch a little bit easier. And it is going to get tighter the closer you get to that first row, get to the end. And I'm almost there, and like I say, it's going to get tight, but we want to make sure we get all of those stitches in there. Okay, last couple here. Get that in there. You absolutely could switch out. Here's my last one. Switch out to maybe a clover if that's what your choice is, you know, afterwards. Because after this row, we really won't need the pointed tip as much, but I will probably keep mine. Okay, so that is the first row. And again, this is going to be your width. If you measure here, you're going to be roughly at 12 inches. You should be. And if you're not, if you're using like 2 size weight, 4 weight, just alter your stitch count until you get what size you need. All right, row 2, we're just going to chain 1, turn our work. That counts as that first stitch there, so we have that there. We're going to do the same thing. We're actually going to go across, do a half double crochet all the way across. And this row is going to be much easier than that first row, simply because those big old hunkin' stitches are just going to pop up for you to make it easier for you to see. Yarn over, grab it, go in. All right, and that, my friends, is actually your pattern. What you're going to do is half double crochets all the way up. Stitch count should be, if you're doing what I'm doing a 12 inches across, your stitch count will be 18 on each, at the end of each row. You want to keep your items square. Okay, I'm almost at the end here of my second row. And so what you're going to do is just what we did on the first row. We get to the end, we are going to chain 1, and then turn our work and start all over again. If you are going to do a 12 by 12, there's my last one, and then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and keep going. If you are going to do, and you see those lines are straight, and you want to make sure you keep them straight. If you're going to do a 12 by 12, you're going to complete 15 rows. If you're using the same yarn as me. If you want to complete a 12 by 16, you're going to want to complete roughly 20 rows. The one that I showed you at the beginning of this video is a 12 by 12, and that's for my smaller cat. And I'm thinking about making this one for my bigger cat, my boy cat, who likes to lay like a sphinx. And so I'm thinking he might need a bigger bed. And so I'll know when I get closer if I'm going to do another 12 by 12 or maybe a 12 by 16. But either way, if you're going to do a 12 by 12, 15 rows, and when you get to finish with your 15 rows, come on back and then we'll talk about how to make those sides. I have made it to my desired length, and I actually decided to go with 16 inches based on watching my boy cat trying to squish into the 12 by 12 size one. So from here, you should have just finished here. What we're going to do is chain 1, and now we're actually going to single crochet all around all 4 sides. And so you're not going to turn and go back the other way. If you wanted to at this point, if you have a stitch marker handy, you might want a stitch mark, pop it in there so you know which corner you're going to end with. So I just chained 1, I'm going to turn it to the side, and you're going to try to hump for stitches, and you're going to do a single crochet, so that way we can clean up the edges, and back out. There's the next one. It doesn't have to be perfect, just do your best to put a single crochet all the way around the 4 sides. And when you get each one of the corners, make sure you chain 1 to get around it, because I'm just about to this corner. So grab that in there, single crochet. There's another stitch, I'm going to go grab that. I'm at the corner. And now I want to chain 1 to get around the corner, and I'm going to keep on going. Okay, and this is going to be my last single crochet right here. Go in, do my single crochet. Alright, now we're going to start building the walls, and so I'm going to remove that stitch marker. And what we're going to do now is we are going to do a round of single crochet but only in the front loop. So if you look at you have double strands here, looking at it face on. Here are 2 strands, and this is your back loop, and these 2 strands here are going to be your front loop. So you're only going to do a single crochet, and you notice I changed back to my pointy one, a single crochet in the front loop only. So the first couple getting it going will be a challenge. Front loop only. And this is actually going to start to build the wall. So make sure you're only grabbing the 2 front strands. Go in and do a single crochet. Turn around there. This thing's getting kind of big. After you get the first couple in, they'll kind of jump out at you after that. Alright, so that's what this round is going to be it's going to be a single crochet, all 4 sides, front loops only. Don't forget to put your stitch marker where you started on that first piece, so that way you know where you're ending for that round. And then also when you come to each corner, we are not going to chain 1 to go around, so you're basically just going to keep doing what you're doing, going into those front 2. If I can see them here, there they are. But remember, we chained 1 to go around each corner the last time. This time we're not going to do that, but you are going to get in there, dig in there, and get that stitch. Make sure you hit your stitches to get them in there. Get that in there, and then just keep going right around and keep right going. And I'll meet you at the end. I'm on my last stitch now, and yours should look similar to mine. The wall should start to be building, and you have a little corner on each side, and it should be popping up. And you should also see, this is because we did the front loop only, you have a nice edging at the bottom. That's going to flip it up. So let's continue on. So if you had your stitch marker, and I'm going to do my last single crochet into that front loop only. Make sure I get both of them. Oop, I didn't get both of them. Make sure I get both of them, and that's going to finish that off. Okay. The next thing what we're going to do is we're going to switch back to an old favorite. I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and what we're going to do now for 3 rounds is we are going to do a half double crochet all the way around. So we're going to go in, and we're going to go through the front and the back loops. Now we're going to be building height on the wall. So I'll put my stitch marker back in because I just did that one. That's where I started. Pop that in there. And now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to keep going. So you're going to do a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. That one's already spoken for. Half double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and you're going to do that for 3 rounds. And that's actually going to build the wall, and then we're going to finish it off. So we're almost there. Okay, I've completed my 3 rounds of half double crochet, and I am now getting ready to finish up. And as you see, you have quite some height at this point. So I'm going to do my last half double crochet there. And now we're going to start on the 4th and final round. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and in here I'm going to do a single crochet. Now what we're going to do on this row is we're actually going to do a single crochet all the way around. I'm going to put my stitch marker back in here, all the way around. So this will be another row that you're going to do. Put that back in there, and then the stitch before, so you're going to come along doing single crochet along here. The stitch before you reach it to your stitch marker, this is going to be single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and single crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch into this final stitch right here. Okay, I'll let you get to it. All right, so I have another single crochet here. My final one, and there's my marker. So I'm going to take that out, and I am going to slip stitch here. We are now ready for the polyfill. So grab your polyfill. I'm going to leave my hook in there for a second so I can show you. So we are at the corner. If you fiddle with yours, and this is like getting pretty large, so it's hard to do that, but you could see that you're at your corner because that's actually where we started, right? So there's your corner. What we want to do at this point is we're going to flip it in a way so it's basically flipping the inside up, because what we want to have viewable is that ridge where we did that front post half double crochet. This is actually what we're going to stitch into, is that ridge. So as long as you can keep an eye on that ridge of that front post double crochet, you're going to be all set. Okay, so here's my next stitch here, and I can see this is my corner stitch here for my front post double crochet, or half double crochet. I am going to go in and I'm going to get the back 2 loops. Let me move that over so I can show you again. I'm going to get the back 2 loops of this stitch. And remember, we're upside down, so I'm going to do the back 2 loops here. Then I'm going to reach all the way down here, and I'm going to get the 2 loops of this guy. And then I'm going to pull all the way through. Okay? And your stitches, after the first one is done, they're going to line right up for you. There's my back loops there. There's my front loops. Push it in, and I'm going to slip stitch and keep moving. There's my back 2. There's my front 2. Pull it and keep moving. Do it again. There's my back 2. Here's my front 2. Now, polyfill. As you can see, I'm already starting to make a hole. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this, it's going to make a nice little tunnel for you. And inside that tunnel, as you move along, we have this little part here, slip stitch already. That is when you can come in and start stuffing with your polyfill. I would wait a little bit, but get them in there. When you get to the corners, back 2 and front 2. What you're going to do is be mindful of your corners. You're going to use less polyfill on the corners. You're going to beef up the center, because remember, we started on a corner. Let's see if I can push this away. Here's my width. Here's my next corner. There's this one corner here. It's hard because of the working space. So there's my corner here. There's one corner. And I move along. I already know right here is my next corner. And you can see it because you're natural bend. So I'm going to overfill in this middle section, but when I get to the corner to make this curve, I'm going to leave this corner almost empty of polyfill. And what that'll do is it'll help me make the shape of a square. Okay? So I have it stitched now from here to here. I'm ready to stuff some more polyfill in there. And this is where you can make it as firm as you want. Remember, this is where they're going to lay their heads. Shove that in there. There we go. That's pretty good there. So then I'm going to keep going. And I can see my next stitches already lining up for me. There they are. Back ones. And then the front. And slip stitch it. Next one. Back ones. And the front. And slip stitch it. And you can see already, you can see already that my corner is already pretty much set. When I come back down this side and I push it here, I'm going to leave this corner almost empty, and it'll make my square. I'm almost to the end on this side, but I think you get the idea. Again, when I get to that corner, I'm going to use less polyfill, and as you go around, you're going to need to shape it. There we go. fiddle with it. There's my corner. And that's how you're going to make it. So I'm going to be here. Here's my corner already. I know it's there because there's my, right in here. Right in here I can see the corner. So right as I'm here, I'm going to fill polyfill to here and then leave this pretty empty. All right, and that's the process. You go all the way around. Make sure when you get to your where you see your items as far as your knots, things like that, you want to keep it on the inside so that way you don't have to weave in those ends. You'll have them on the inside. Once you've made it all the way around, you will be all set. I'll show you what mine looks like in a second. All right, and there's the last stitch going into here. I'm just going to bind it off. Pull that nice and tight. Then I'm going to weave those ends in. And this is what it looks like. You can see we have a nice ridge on the inside. This is where the cat can put their paws. Still got to weave those ends in there. Okay. And that is today's tutorial on how to make a pet bed. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit the subscription button below, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.